Hey guys, my name is Kyla. In this tutorial, I will show you how to make a simple website using HTML and CSS. This simple website is just a basic concept with information you'll need for your business or your brand. People are wondering why build a website from scratch while you can just use a web builder. For me personally, using web builders can be an easy shortcut for most people who rely on corporate roleplay, or they simply can't build a website from scratch because they don't have the knowledge to do so. Web builders can have junky bloatware code, no matter what web builder you are using, and these web builders can cause low-end devices to slow down. The reason why I make this video is to teach you guys how to make a website from scratch with no bloatware code in there whatsoever. Just to keep an FYI, I won't be explaining too much about what most of the code does, but I will teach you the basic of why it works. Later, I will be making another video on how to host your website with your own domain. So if you are new, please subscribe and turn on bell notifications, since we are so close to 2 million subscribers, and maybe I will do something special for everyone once I reach that milestone. For now, let's get into the video. For most people who have no idea how to build a website from scratch, there is software that I use where I write my website from scratch, which is VS Code. I won't be going over how to install it since I already have a video going over how to install VS Code, and the links to it will be in the description. If you already installed VS Code, just simply open up the program. Once the program has opened, go to the top left corner, and you will see a paper icon, which is known as the Explorer. What we are doing is we're going to make a folder containing all the assets of our website. You can name the folder whatever you want. For me, I will just call mine Kyla's website. Once you create that, open the folder inside VS Code. Now we're going to create a file. Just simply click this small icon and a file box will show up under the folder we created. Name the file index.html, because that's how all websites work, and index acts as the main page of the site. And we're going to make another file. And for this file, we are going to name it style.css. This is for once we are finished coding the HTML of the site. This is where we decorate it to make it very nice. Lastly, we are going to make another folder and name it assets. And here we put all the images and the fave icon in here. Once that's set up, we need to install an extension called LiveServer. LiveServer is a plugin that lets us view the site while we are coding the website. Head over to the Extensions tab and type in LiveServer. Make sure the extension is made by Ritwik Day. The reason I mention that is I don't want you guys to install an extension that isn't it, and it should be the top result when you search for LiveServer. Go ahead and install the extension. And now, once we've got everything set up, go ahead and click on the HTML file, and we're gonna get started coding the site. Alright, we are gonna build the skeleton of the site. Every HTML document starts with a tag, doctype HTML inside the angled brackets, because that's how every HTML document reads from the site and tells the browser, hey, we are using HTML5. Inside our head tag, we have two very important tags to talk about. First is the title tag. Whatever you write inside the title isn't just going to show up on the actual web page body. Instead, this is the text that appears at the very top of your browser tab. So when someone bookmarks your page or opens multiple tabs, this is how they identify your site. If you leave this out, your browser tab will just show an ugly default URL or file path. Next, we have the link tag, and beginners always ask why it's written like this. Link rel equals stylesheet, href equals style.css. Here's why both of those parts, what we call attributes, and why they are required. Rel equals stylesheets, rel stands for relationship. This tells the browser, hey, the file I'm connecting to is a CSS style sheet meant to design this page. Without rel, the browser won't know what to do with the file. href equals style.css. href stands for hypertext reference. This is simply the exact file path or destination. Since our style.css file is sitting in the same folder as our index.html, we just put style.css. Also, notice how link doesn't have a closing link tag? That's because it's a self-closing tag. It doesn't hold any content inside it. It just fetches external information. Now for the body tags. This is what the user actually sees on their screen. Notice how clean this is? No messy div soup from a web builder, just clean tags. We start with a nav tag for our navigation. Inside, I dropped a simple div and an image tag for our logo. Right below that, we make our actual clickable menu using an unordered list. That's the UL tag. Inside are our list items, LI, and the A tags hold the actual links for home, about, and search. Simple and lightweight. Moving down, we have the main tag. This is the meat of the website. I threw in an H1 tag for our big welcome text. Underneath that, I added a section to keep things organized. Inside the section, there's an H2 for a subtitle, a placeholder image, and a P tag, which just stands for paragraph. Finally, we wrap up the page with a footer tag at the bottom, containing a quick paragraph saying Kyla's footer. When we right-click our index.html and click on Open with Live Server, you will see what you have built. It will look like a website that was built in 1995. Don't worry, that's why CSS exists. We will get to that in a bit. Before we code in CSS, we need to name our stuff first. Alright, let's take a look at our HTML now. Notice how every single tag has a specific class assigned to it? We have .navbar for the container, .logobox, and .sitelogo for the logo, and .navitem for our menu links. Down in the main content, our section is labeled .tutorial card with .section title, .card image, and .section text inside it. And at the bottom, our footer is wrapped in site footer with a footer text paragraph inside. By naming everything like this, we are building a clean design system. When we open up style.css next, we won't have to guess what tag we're editing. We can just target these exact class names directly. So make sure your HTML matches this. Save the file, and let's jump into style.css to finally give this site some style. I know everyone will say, do I have to slap a class onto every single HTML tag I ever write? The short answer, not always, but it's best practice when you want precise control. For example, if you want specific styling for an image, a button, a card, or a navigation link without affecting the rest of the page, use a class. If you want a rule to apply to literally the entire website, like setting the main font on the body tag or setting margin 0 on everything, you don't need classes for that. You just target the standard HTML tag directly in CSS. You might also see people use ID equals something. An ID is for one single element that exists only once on the whole page, whereas a class can be reused across multiple elements, like giving 5 different buttons the same .button class. To keep things clean and modular for this tutorial, we're sticking with classes. So no, you don't have to class name every single stray P tag on the giant text-heavy page, but for layouts and component design, classes are your best friend. Alright, let's open up style.css and give our site some clothes. At the very top, we start with the universal selector that is the asterisk. We set margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. This is called the CSS reset. Browsers come with their own default margins and padding that completely ruin layouts if you don't zero them out first. Border box makes sure that when you add padding or borders to an element, it doesn't accidentally mess up its total width and height calculation. Before I continue, notice how every block of CSS code is structured like this. First is the target. This is the class name or HTML tag you're aiming at, telling CSS, hey, edit this specific thing. Everything inside these braces belong exclusively to that target. Inside the braces, you write the property, which is what you want to change, like color, background color, or font size, followed by a colon, and then the value, which is how you want to change it. And don't forget the semicolon at the end. Next, on the body tag, we set a sleek dark background and light text. We also give it min height, 100 VH, and turn it into a flex container with flex direction column. This is a classic dev trick to make sure our page always takes up the full screen height. Now let's style our navbar. We set display flex, justify content space between, and align item center. Justify content space between pushes our logo to the far left and our navigation menu to the far right automatically. No hacky margins required. Align item center makes sure everything is perfectly centered vertically. For the logo, we give it fixed dimensions of 50 pixels, make it a circle with border radius 50%, and use object fit cover so the image doesn't stretch or distort inside the circle. Over on our navigation list, nav links, we'll use display flex again to line up with our menu items side by side instead of stacked, list style none to strip away those ugly default bullet points, and gap 1.5 rem to space them out cleanly. For nav item, we remove the default underline using text decoration none and add a smooth transition so that when a user hovers over a link, it changes color cleanly to our accent color. Moving down to main content, we give it flex 1. This works alongside our body flex box from earlier to automatically push the footer all the way down to the bottom of the screen, even if there isn't much content on the page. Now for our main feature, tutorial card. We wrap our content inside a modern card component. We give it a max width of 650 pixels, a dark container background, rounded corners with border radius 16 pixels, and a subtle box shadow so it floats off the background. Inside the card image container and card image makes sure any image we drop in scales responsively, with 100%, without breaking any of the card boundaries. And section text gets a slightly softer text color and a clean line height 1.6 so it's super easy to read. Finally, we hit the site footer. Because we set up our main content flexbox property earlier, margin top auto ensures this footer sits cleanly at the bottom. We give it a top border, subtle padding, and a muted gray text. And boom! Save your CSS file, head back over to the Line server, and check it out. We went from a plain 1995 text document to a clean, modern, dark mode web application, all with lightweight, pure CSS and zero bloated frameworks. And that's about it. Goodness, I survived making this tutorial for all of you since it was a highly requested video you guys wanted me to do first. And there will be a guide link in the description. And just to be honest, I can't remember every single detail, and I do have notes with me, so yeah. If you found this tutorial very helpful, please leave a like on the video and comment banana if you made it this far in the video. And I will take a nap. Bye bye!